Hello and welcome to the second part of my vlog on the Disney Dream, where we are cruising between the Norwegian fjords. So let's spit some facts about the Disney Dream. It's the third Disney Dream cruise liner. It came into service in 2011. It has 14 stories and it holds 4,000 passengers at max and has around 1,500 crew. Yes, 4,000 is a lot of people, but our experience is, it's a shock when you set off on a cruise and when everybody is boarding, everything is filled with people. But once you sort of pushed away, everybody has access to the cabins. It becomes much more quieter and much more livable. But it was a big shock for me the first time I went on this cruise. This is the atrium, it's the beautiful heart of the ship. In the evening everybody's paths cross here. There's a bit of live music on most nights. Events are held here, and also of course the character photo meet and greets are also held here down there at the bottom, but also on the balconies here. Most day, weather permitting, we always come down to the running deck, and there's a running track around the whole ship on this deck, but also there's some deck lounges, and we also really enjoy just sitting here for an hour, maybe with a drink, and people watch. So on the, I don't know what you call it, a steam funnel, they have a big movie screen. It's a very impressive screen. It's very bright. Of course, it's an LED screen of some sorts, I think. And they will show their movies all day and also all night. It's a nice place to come and chill and lean back and watch the movie. Although on the Disney cruise here in the fjords, it's been quite nippy in the evening, so that's why it's not too busy. And once you come back in the evening to your cabin, there's always a nice surprise on your bed. Well, that sounded a bit weird, but it isn't weird. They always make some sort of a sculpture out of the towels and leave you to chocolates in the evening. So the next day was a full day at sea, and we woke up early in the morning in Stavanger. Or actually in a port close to Stavanger. So if you want to do the many activities you can do on shore, you had to be bussed towards Stavanger or towards wherever your activity was. And we decided to stay on board and sit this one out, as we already know Stavanger, and explore the ship a bit. So there's a lot to do on the ship next to just eat all day. And we started off with a bit of miniature golf. And after that we played some basketball. Yes, it may surprise people. I used to be a very good basketball player, if I say so myself. And also, of course, there are two big pools here on the ship. I didn't film there, just out of privacy of the people just having a good time there. Also on board there's a full-sized movie theater, and this of course being a Disney cruise liner, they will show you the latest Disney releases here. Even sometimes a movie will not be released in Europe yet, you'll be able to see it on board of the cruise ship. Also on board is this massive theater. Most nights there will be some sort of a big production, but of course the star of the theater is a showing of the Beauty and the Beast. Almost, yeah, it's a Broadway quality musical performance here on board. Alesund is a small town, or actually a medium town by Norwegian standards. It was founded in the 9th century. And it was a beautiful or traditional Swedish town which had a horrible fire in 1904, which basically burned everything to the ground, and they had to rebuild it. At every stop on a Disney cruise, there are excursions which you can book ahead, and that ranges from hiking, canoeing, trips to museums, trips to sites, trips to glaciers, helicopter rides. There's a whole range of activities that you can book before you go, and of course you're free to explore the town or a location by yourself, which we have done this trip. One popular trip here in Alesund is walking up those stairs that you see there up that mountain for a beautiful vista. But well, if you know me by now, we passed on that one. We departed on time from Alesund. It gave us plenty of daylight to still enjoy the views from the ship towards the fjords. It's still quite white here, and we're heading back then out to sea before we make our next excursion into the next fjord for tomorrow. Well, after the first day at sea and then yesterday at Stavanger, it is really nice now to see some of the nature which we actually came on board this cruise to experience. So far the cruise has been good. It's a bit nippy, but still people are in the pool, so it's too cold for us. But yeah, we've enjoyed our time up until now. There's lots of activity which we have partaked in, and there's still a lot of things to look forward to in the next coming days. Scenery was absolutely stunning this evening with beautiful light, and also not trying to be paranoid, but I think that little boat was following us. It was a little military boat, and it followed us for quite a while. Well, and as the evening activities approach, the orgy of alcohol and food, so to say, no, it really isn't that bad. But yeah, we're going to have our meal and do some of the evening entertainment, and we're going to see you in the morning. So the next morning we woke up next to world's largest gift store. No, only joking, but we are in this very small village of Olsen, and there's just one dock for one cruise ship, and right across the road there's are two massive tourist gift shops. The scenery is absolutely stunning. This is the most northern part of our cruise, and the most deepest we have gone into a fjord, and also the narrowest we have been into a fjord. At night I actually occasionally went outside, and it was pitch dark except for some lights on the shore, so it must have been a very intense time for the captain and its crew to navigate through this, I think. It's kind of like a Groundhog Day, except with a beautiful scenery here. You know, everybody's up and out, had the breakfast, everybody's now going on their excursions, you know, and it all started again what we did yesterday and the day before. But it's worth it. It's absolutely beautiful here. There's a glacier within 25 kilometers, so I guess a lot of people are going there. So we departed on time in the afternoon, which gave us, I think for me, the best moment of this cruise. In this narrow fjord, I'm going to sail back all the way back to the open waters, about 102 kilometers from Olsen, and just enjoy the scenery. It was absolutely stunning. As some of you know, I live in the Netherlands, which is, I guess, one of the most flattest countries on this planet. So just, I really have a big passion and enjoy mountains and the fjords like this, as it is something that we don't have back home. Today is also special because we have a reservation for the fine dining restaurant Remy. And yes, that is Remy, the cooking rat from Ratatouille. The restaurant is lightly themed on Paris Bistro, which includes Remy, the Ratatouille rat. All meals, of course, are included in the cruise. However, for Remy and Paolo, another separate restaurant, you have to pay an additional fee, which is $135 per person. Oh, and also have to add, of course, that this is an adult-only restaurant, so no kids, I think, below 16 are allowed. Don't quote me on that, on the age, I'm not sure about that. So before we do our review of Remy, I want to apologize that I have not filmed inside of the restaurant other than our meals itself. I try to respect people's privacy. The restaurant was already full and it didn't feel well for me at the moment, to turn around and film everything. So apologies for that. I am getting better and more ballsy, but that we'll see in the future vlogs, although I'll still try to protect the privacy of other people's. As we pass through this beautiful scenery, I'll use this as the backdrop to explain some of the basics and the menu at Remy, where we're going to eat this evening. Besides eating à la carte, they offer two tasting menus. One of our new La Lament, a French free Michelin star chef, and there's a second menu of Scott Hunnell, an American chef who is responsible for the food, currently in Disney, but also at Victoria and Albert now and at the time as a chef. And Victoria and Albert, as most of you will know by now, just received their first Michelin star. The waiter recommended us to have one of each, so I had our new La Lament menu, and my wife had the Scott Hunnell menu, and this way we could taste from each other's plate, so to speak. I added a wine pairing with my meal, that came at 120 extra euros, and my wife added a zero proof pairing, as she doesn't really drink that much, so she thought this would be better for her. So before we go to the food, I have to add that my wife is a celiac, and that means that she can't eat gluten despite wanting to, but she can't. And they could perfectly accommodate for her. She can have most of the food, except for some small changes that they had to make. We started the meal with champagne cocktail. It was vodka, Grand Marnier, in Taittinger champagne with some cassis pearls and a bit of dried pineapple. Next were two amuse bouches. They were very lovely. I just can't remember what they were, so apologies for that, but they were very good. We had an extra course, which was $195 for caviar. It came with a glass of Krug champagne, and it was a real surprise that they made a beautiful dish around it, and we could share it. And it was really lovely, a big surprise, and it really set the tone for the evening. The bread is also special. The dough is imported from a famous Paris bakery and then baked here on board. It was absolutely lovely. It came with 3 types of butter. My wife, of course, can't have the bread. She did have her own set of butter and gluten-free bread for her. So then they started stacking the table with all sorts of plates of food, which turned out to be my first course. A trio of the tomato, basically. 3 different dishes prepared around tomato. Every one of them was stunning, and I'm not even a big tomato fan. It also came with a very delicate piece of bread, which was also very good. My wife's very modest, just 1 plate. First course of Scott Hunnell was the king salmon. She absolutely loved it. It looked beautiful. You're going to hear that a lot this evening. It is so easy and very common to destroy a langoustine, but they certainly didn't do that here. Had a lovely langoustine with a beurre blanc and a lemon flavor to it. And my wife had a beautiful piece of toothfish, which I never seen before, with an asparagus emulsion. I do want to mention here that the zero-proof pairing my wife had with her menu was absolutely great. There was lots of variations, lots of flavor. They really put an effort in making a nice pairing for people that don't drink. Those 3 dots had so much flavor packed into them, it was unbelievable. The dish was pollock with a curry sauce. My wife had lamb with charred leeks and Sicilian pistachios. And of course I forgot to film the next course, which was for me a poulard, which I exchanged for an A5 Wagyu, which came at an upcharge, I think, of $100. My wife already had an Australian Wagyu in her menu, so what they suggested we should do is basically split the Wagyus so we could have a taste of both Wagyu types. In France, you have the cheese before the dessert. Cheese wasn't included in the menu, however, of course, we could add a cheese course, which we did. We did 1 cheese course to share, which was absolutely no problem. They had some lovely cheeses in this big cheese trolley. We had a selection of 5 cheeses each. The waiter explained them very well, made the selection for us on our preferences, and I really enjoyed this course. For dessert, I got 2 plates, vrij, that means strawberry, and these are 2 small dishes based on strawberries. Absolutely lovely. I'm not a big dessert guy, but these hit the spot. And my wife got chocolate. Also, it looked very nice. I was too full to have a taste. And the meal was ended with more dessert and some sweets. We couldn't handle it anymore, and also didn't want any coffee right there, so they packed it for us to take back to the cabin, and included also 2 house-made lollipops. So was the Remy meal worth the money we paid for it? Yes, absolutely. We had a great time and a great meal. I wasn't actually expecting it to be as good as it was. So yeah, for me it was absolutely worth it. Things can escalate. We added $195 for the caviar course that came with the champagne. We added the cheese course. I don't know how expensive that was, but that was I guess around $50. We also had the wine pairing for me at $120. We had the zero proof pairing for my wife, which was $40. We also had two glasses of port, which came in I think around $100 and something. It was very good port. So all in all the extras added up to another $500 and something, and that excludes the tip, which also comes on top of that. So yeah, it can get very expensive. This is just for the two of us. So if you're with a larger group or family, you know, you have to take that into account. Having said that, you of course absolutely are not obligated to have all those extra courses and expensive drinks. You know, if you stick to the base price and have a bottle of wine during the meal, the sommelier was excellent. He will help you with that, so you can keep it. You know, you can keep the price down if that's a concern for you. Would I recommend this restaurant for everybody? No, if you're a quantity over quality person, you know, you enjoy buffets and, you know, you're really satisfied with that, this probably isn't for you. Having said that, if you're curious how it is and you're open-minded about it, you know, try it. I can also understand that for some people, you know, the setting can be intimidating. You know, the service is very, you know, it's in their face. They're guiding you through this meal. They're explaining everything to you. The sommelier is explaining the wines. That can be intimidating. But you know what? It's just a restaurant. It's just food. Enjoy it. Listen to what they have to say. They're all very friendly people, so don't be intimidated by that. So really don't let that stop you. I'm happy we tried it. I was very skeptical at first, so we didn't do it on the first two cruises we went on. This time as well, you know, let's try it. And you know, we were rewarded with a splendid meal. We were supposed to wake up in Haugesund. Unfortunately, I think it was the currents that prevented us that port. So we have an extra day at sea. Today is also Pirate Night. I think on American cruises there's fireworks, but not on this cruise for some reason. Maybe it's regulations. Pirates Night is where everybody, or no, actually, you know, some people dress up as pirates, but most people will have a little bandana which is left in the stateroom before dinner. And just like that, a week is passing really fast. It's the last day, which is also a day at sea. I'm going to travel through the North Sea towards Southampton. And the highlight, of course, was the Norwegian Fjords. They were absolutely beautiful and great to see from you know, ship level like this. So yeah, that was absolutely made this trip worth it for us. And one final thing, just as the sun was setting on the final night, everybody rushed outside because they were sitting over the white cliffs of Dover, which was spectacular to see. It was a beautiful sunset. There was a nice cherry on the top at the end of this cruise. We really had a great time. The Disney Dream and its crew, it's a wonderful ship. We really enjoyed our time on it. The only downside for us was that it was the summer holidays here in Europe, and the ship felt much more busy than normal. The bad weather in Norway and the 3 days at sea probably didn't help with that, but we will certainly make sure that the next time we're going to book a cruise here in Europe, and that is outside of the summer holidays, if that's possible. More drinks, more food. This is our last night. We're going to enjoy it. There's a goodbye party in the atrium with all the Disney characters. Yeah, we had a great time. It's a shame really that it is our last night. Tomorrow back to reality. Sadly, I lost footage from the debarkation. We debarked at I think 9 a.m. and our flight was at 5 p.m. in the evening. So we had a day-use hotel in Southampton, and it was a nice chance we could see the ship from our room. The hotel itself was actually pretty bad. Check-in was a breeze. There was nobody in front of us. Also the security, well, I was going to say actually it wasn't a breeze, because I just remembered that there was a whole family with about 7-8 members, of which more than half had liquids and other stuff in their hand luggage, which was quite amazing. Once through security, you're actually, well, there's a small duty free, and then you're into this the large open space, which is the departure hall. So yeah, we just sat around and waited until our plane got to the gate. So today this KLM flight is going to be provided by German Airways, also on an Embraer 190. Yeah, it's another wet lease company that KLM uses. So, well, let's see if there's any difference between Eastern Airways, which we arrived on a week ago. I love it. Just, walking out onto the platform towards your plane, especially when it's dry, of course. You get really up close. I enjoy it. I'm a plane nerd. And even, a small plane like the Embraer 190 is still quite a big plane if you get up close to it. Boarding the plane was at your own discretion, whether you use the front stairs or the rear stairs. I'm not sure if other airlines organize this better. Let me know in the comments if they do, but this looked kind of random to me. Interestingly enough, the seats are from the KLM. So I actually wonder if this is a KLM airplane which has been rebranded on the outside as German Airways. Let me know in the comments if you know a bit more about this. I'm curious.
In case of the compression, this mast is falling down for the seating above it.
They held us on the runway for quite a bit, and then something happened which you really don't want to happen if you already have a delay. Suddenly over the tannoy, the stewardess came with, "Ma'am, take your seat, ma'am, take your seat." And I thought, oh no, we've got a nutter on board. I hope we don't have to go back to the gate. And we didn't. It was sorted very quickly, literally several seconds after the announcement. The plane started its takeoff. And that could have been really bad, but fortunately for everybody, it works out well.
Ma'am, take your seat. Ma'am, take your seat.
So they did two drinks and a snack on this flight. You could have red wine, white wine, a beer, or a soda. I had the red wine and those cheesy cheddar things, which I also had on the way over. They were actually quite nice, but yeah. The flight felt actually quite slow to me, and that was confirmed once I saw the coast of Netherlands on my window, which was the wrong side. So I checked it on flight radar, and yeah, indeed, we went up north and then came back down again to make a landing on runway 6. So I wonder if they had a runway change at that time, and we did the extra miles.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Amsterdam. Please remain seated. Your seatbelt securely fastened as the aircraft has come to a complete stop. And Captain has switched off the fasten seatbelt sign for you. Please take care while opening the overhead lockers.
Back home, and the KLM got us there. Not impressed really with KLM, the wet leasing of different companies like this. The big delays that we had both going out and coming back. Well, not really impressed, and also the pricing of these tickets, for a 15-minute flight at 450 euros, I thought was pretty bad. But they got us there and they got us back home, and that is basically the bottom line of air travel. So let me know in the comments your thoughts on the KLM and their pricing, and also your thoughts on a Disney cruise. Did you enjoy it? Did you do it? Why won't you do it? Let me know. Share it with the other viewers. And thank you for watching. Do like and subscribe if you liked it and are not subscribed yet. Share it if you have like-minded friends or acquaintances. Our next series is going to be in 2 weeks. It's a 12-day trip in the USA again. New airlines, new destinations, and we had to travel back on the day Hurricane Helena hit Orlando, and we were flying from Orlando. So that's going to make some good viewing. Once again, thank you for watching. Bye bye.